one I'm just keeping off at this moment. At this moment, I'm not sure. I just have to reconfirm and I'll let you know. Okay. Ishan, start.
Yes, sir. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Go to
Okay.
presentation mode and start.
Okay, sir. Okay. Good morning. Good evening to all. Today's my topic is SQUID, superconducting quantum interference devices. So we will discuss. Firstly, we will discuss about superconductivity and what is the major role of Josephson tunneling and how this phase and electron pairs will come. And also we will discuss about DC SQUID and its applications. So firstly, we will see what is the special quality in SQUID and why we will study. So we will discuss in brief. So this SQUID is a superconducting device. So this SQUID and this purpose of this SQUID is to actually measure very small variation of magnetic field. So if it is in a particular circuit or in a particular physical phenomena, if there is a very small change in magnetic field or the flux associated with it, there is no other device that will measure it down to 10 to raise to power minus 15 meter square than that of SQUID. So, and in fact, it is interesting to know that the magnetic field associated with the human heart is about 10 to raise power minus 10 Tesla, whereas the magnetic field associated with the brain is about 10 to raise power minus 13 to 10 to raise power minus 14 Tesla. So if there is an increased activity or there is an increase in magnetic field due to activity of brain, so this SQUID is easily can detect changes in magnetic field or flux associated with it. So in this SQUID, there is a device like magnetoencephalography, which in measure these changes. So SQUID are very useful devices to detect the changes of magnetic field of small order. So here we will see and how the superconductivity role in this SQUID. So superconductor is a material which shows zero resistance below a certain temperature. It shows the property called superconductivity. This temperature is known as TC temperature is known as critical temperature, and above this critical temperature the material is in normal state, and below this critical temperature this material any material show superconducting state. Suppose we have mercury and it says critical temperature is 4.2 Kelvin, and so below 4.2 Kelvin it will become superconductor, and but other metal does not. And also here is Meissner effect, and Meissner effect is discovered in 1933 by measuring the magnetic field distribution outside superconducting tin and lead samples. This effect is explosion of magnetic field from a superconductor during its transition to superconducting state when it is cooled below its critical temperatures. So suppose now we will understand superconductivity by BCS theory. So firstly, suppose that an electron passes near an iron lattice. So we know that electron in a metal normally behaves as a free particle. The electron is repelled from other electrons due to their negative charge, but it also attracts the positive ions that make up the rigid lattice of the metal. This attraction distorts the ion lattice and moving these ions slightly towards the electron. So this positive charge can attract other electrons at long distances. This attraction between electrons due to the displaced ions can overcome the electrons repulsion. So due to these negative charges and causes them to pair up. Now Cooper showed that this small attraction between electrons can cause a paired state of electrons to have a lower energy than the Fermi energy, which implies that the pair is bound. When the pair of electron is bound and the electron in a pair are not close together, because the interaction is long range, and paired electron may still be many hundred of nanometers apart. This distance is usually greater than the average inter-electron distance, so that many Cooper pairs can occupy the same space. And also electrons have spin half particles, so they are fermions, but the total spin of Cooper pair is integer. So it is a boson particles. So this means the wave function are symmetric under particle interchanging. So unlike electrons, multiple Cooper pairs are allowed to be in same quantum state, which is responsible for the phenomenon of superconductivity. So the paired electrons are not scattered. and can maintain their coupled motion up to a certain distance called coherence length. If it is a measure of the distance within which the gap parameter does not change very much in varying magnetic field. Basically, superconducting coherence length is a measure of size of Cooper pairs, like distance between two electrons, and is the order of 10 to the power minus 4 centimeters. So this is the wave equation. Describes all Cooper pairs, and we can calculate phase and amplitude at any point on this wave. So now we will talk about flux quantization. If a charged particle travels in a field, the free region that surrounds another region in which there is a trapped magnetic flux, then completing a closed loop, the particle wave function will acquire an additional phase factor, this phi, of 1 flux 1, but the wave function must be single valued at any point in space. So this can be done if the magnetic flux is quantized. So magnetic flux around a closed superconducting current loop must be quantized, and this value is 2.07 multiplied 10 to the power minus 15 Weber. So in now we will talk about Josephson tunneling, and there is a major role of in SQUID. So in 1962, according to Josephson, these Cooper pairs move from one superconductor to the other superconductor across the thin insulating layer. Such motion of pairs of electrons constitutes the Josephson current, and the process by which the pairs cross the insulating layer is called Josephson tunneling. And this is the representation of Josephson junction, and there is a two superconductor separated by insulating layer, and this Cooper pair tunneling through this insulating layer into other superconductor without any applied voltage running through this device. This is similar to quantum mechanical tunneling of electron potential barrier. So the current due to this tunneling is proportional to the phase difference phase difference of Cooper pair, phase difference of Cooper pair or either side of junction. So this is no voltage current relation is called DC Josephson relation, and this critical current depends on geometry of the junction and choice of the material and also operating temperature. So we will discuss after that DC SQUID. Before DC SQUID, we can calculate the change in phase due to current and magnetic field. There are two equations like current equation, and this is the magnetic field equation. We can calculate the change in phase, and after that we will discuss about DC SQUID. In DC SQUID, DC SQUID was invented in 1964 at Ford Research Labs. Now you will see this diagram in which two superconducting half rings and connect them via insulating layer, creating two Josephson junction in parallel, and the critical current of both junction are equal. Now we will be passing current through one strips, and by Kirchhoff law entering, and we know that the Kirchhoff law entering and exit, the current must be same. So half current of applied current through the half side and other half current going through the other side. So effectively making this maximum allowed current in the device that can show the Josephson effect equal to twice of the critical current. So the junction by applying the magnetic flux through the device. So establish a phase difference between the opposite side of the ring. So this is the where quantization of magnetic flux comes into play. So next we will see the how it will work. So we will see the firstly we will see this phase change when we applied the external magnetic field. Then we will see the phase change due to the this magnetic field and due to this junction. So after that the current will flow, and we know that the flux will be always must be quantized. So contribution of a magnetic field, and firstly we have to apply external magnetic field, then we will see the there will be phase change. So that's why this is DC SQUID will work, because we know that the flux will be must be quantized. So this is the showing the graphical representation. So the circulating current will increase proportionality with the applied flux until a point corresponding to have the quantum, and since the circulating current is proportional to the energy, at this point it is energetic favorable to reverse the direction the direction and maintain the same magnitude, and once again restoring to the original state at exactly one integer value of the quanta. So since there is a phase mismatch between two Josephson junction, so this will show the oscillatory behavior. So this oscillatory behavior is calculated in the form of cosine function in of applied flux. So we can see that the oscillation, this graph is representing the oscillations, and whereas the expected at 0 and other integral values flux, the current is maximum, and you can see here the other half integral values, the current is minimum. So this behavior is periodic and persist high value of applied flux. So this speed is basically this speed is only limited by quantum uncertainty principle. So a variety of instrument can be made using SQUID as sensors such as magnetometer, which throw a series of pickup loop, and this is the pickup loop, and the next one pickup loop, and we can say flux transformers is used to measure magnetization and bulk material. So after that, SQUID based voltmeter, this one, SQUID based voltmeter are extremely sensitive and can measure voltages of order 10 to the power minus 14 volt, and gradiometer, which can also measure small changes in gradient of this peak. So we can also use in other applications like medical imaging and geology. We can check this SQUID, and so this is the SQUID. So thank you.
Any question?